Yeah, I think it will be okay now. Can you hear me? Just refresh once at your end and let me know if you are able to hear me or not. Usually I always start my sessions by asking you whether you can hear me or not. Today only I didn't do it and audio went away. Yeah, it's okay now? Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Bhavna. Thank you. So we'll start. I'll continue. I had not said anything deep as of now. Wait, now I think the camera has gone. Okay. Yeah, so I hadn't said anything deep as of now. I'll just restart it. What I had said so far is, hi Debya, good evening. Good, good, good. NCS Music, thank you so much. Perfect. So what I had said so far is coding, decoding, also known as cipher, decipher. So I was telling you that logical reasoning has two major sections of questions, right? In one of the sections, what you do is you read the instructions. There are a set of instructions and directions given to you. You convert them into an image form, okay, so that it becomes easier to understand, and then accordingly you answer your questions. So all these questions, sitting arrangement based questions, syllogism based questions, blood relations, directions, all these questions come under that category. But there is another category of questions where a set of data is given to you, right? Some data is given to you, you analyze that data and get a hidden pattern behind it, some logic which is being followed, okay, in that data. Once you identify the pattern or logic, you apply this pattern or logic to the given word, given letter, given number, whatever is given to you, and accordingly generate your answer and select it from the options. So coding, decoding is a question of that category, a topic of that category. We also have analogy, classification, series, all these topics belong to the same category, where the way of asking the questions is changing, but basic pattern is exactly the same. You are just analyzing a pattern, applying, getting your answer, right? Now, when I talk about coding, decoding, I also told you that it is based on numbers, letters and words, obviously. But words, we don't study it separately as much. It is majorly a combination of numbers and letters only. But we'll cover everything today, right? So then I told you that there are 9 major types of coding, decoding which are seen in all competitive examinations. 9 major types, there are others as well. Now, these are the names for you. Opposite pair letter codes, letter coded with some other letter, letters interchanging with each other, meaning of the words change, addition of place values of the letters, Chinese coding, identifying message from codes, numerical values assigned to words, if then coding. Lot of topics and lot of subtopics to study, right? So what I have done is we have converted these 9 different types of coding into 4 major categories. Okay, we'll not learn them individually. We'll learn 4 major types of coding, out of which 2 will decide the complete coding, decoding concept for you. Everything, every possible thing I will give it to you. And the remaining 2 are just smaller extra versions which are associated with it. So basically you have to learn 2 major types and 2 normal minor types, single types. And in these 4 types, coding, decoding will be completely done for you. You'll be absolutely ready for your examinations, right? I'll also tell you how to think and what all do you need. So when we start coding, decoding, or for that matter logical reasoning, there are some prerequisites which all of you need to have. Prerequisite means things which you need with you before you start your preparation. Okay. So these are the prerequisites which you require. What are the prerequisites? Firstly, you need to know the place value of the English alphabet. Completely. It should be there in your head, because coding, decoding, this is of primary importance. Place value means what is the place value? So if A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C is equal to 3, and so on and so forth till Z equal to 26. If this is what you have, you need to remember these place values. Okay. Please, it's a humble request. Don't depend upon mnemonics and short tricks for this. Apply your brains once, spend some time, you will be able to remember it, because I don't want you to fall into the category. There are short tricks here. I'll tell that to you. Supposedly, I want to write, let's say, metal. Okay. There will be a category of students who will say, okay, I need to figure it out. So I'll write EJOT first. Then I'll say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Then I'll say M. Oh, M is between J and O. M is 13. Oh, E is 5. Oh, T is 20. Oh, A is the 1. Oh, L is between 10, J and O. J, K, L, O, it is 12. And there is a category of student who simply does this. They know the logic completely. This is what I'm looking for, and for this it will just take a little bit of extra effort. What you can do is you can draw a chart and stick it to a wall which you are, which you mostly see in your room, and just look at it. Don't have to do anything else. Just look at it, number one. Number two, when you're practicing, just try to recall. Everything will be registered in your head. Now, obviously, this is for the beginners I'm telling, okay? Those who are already champions, very good. You have to also know the reverse place value of the English alphabet. Again, please strictly stay away from mnemonics and short tricks here. To learn 26 reverse letters, that is total 13 pairs, you can't remember 13 short tricks. There are people who tell me, oh, Azad will remember A and Z, we'll remember Indian Railways, INR, we'll remember shirt, SNH, INR. Don't do that. It's useless. I won't say it's useless typically, but to remember one thing, you have to remember another thing. Just put in some extra efforts, this will also stay with you. One thing you can do here is to find the reverse place value, what you will do, but firstly know what is reverse place value. So if I would have started my letter from Z, that is Z equal to 1, Y equal to 2, X equal to 3, till the time A equal to 26. If this was my letter English alphabet, then what would have been the place value of that letter? For that you can simply subtract your place value from 27. So once you remember this, you can simply subtract its value from 27 and get your correct answer for the reverse place value. Right? Let's take an example. Let's take a simple example. So for example, I will say K is equal to 11. The place value of K is 11. Now what will be the reverse place value of 11? So you will subtract 27 and 11 and you will get 16. So the reverse place value of K is 16. Alright. Now, what will be the letter at the 16th position in the normal alphabet? What will be the letter at the 16th position in the normal alphabet? When you do that, you will get that at the 16th position, you will have the letter P. So K and P, this is the reverse position of K. At the reverse position in the normal alphabet, we have P. So K and P are known as reverse letters. We call them as reverse letters. Also call them as opposite letters. Okay, what is the concept of opposite letters? All the reverse letters or opposite letters, their sum of their place values is always 27. Sum of their place values is always 27. What is the basic concept of this? How can you remember this better? So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. 13 letters, divide that, 26 divided by 2. So next is 14, 15. So write it in the reverse order. So all these vertically arranged letters, everything, all these letters, each pair is a reverse pair, reverse letter pair. Now you don't have to write this each time in an examination. You can write this once, again, same thing, stick it somewhere, keep reading, you will remember it. And keep solving, keep recalling, you will remember. Also subtract from 27, get the place value and then remember. That is also easy. Initially you might have to work slightly harder, but then it will become easier. They are all reverse letters. 1 plus 26, 27, 2 plus 25, 27, 3 plus 24, 27, 4 plus 23, 27. Anywhere, 6 plus 21, 27, 8 plus 19, 27, 10 plus 17, 27, 12 plus 15, 27, 13 plus 14, 27. The sum of all these letters place values is 27. So they are known as opposite letter codes. Now, the next concept is addition of letters. If you understand that your letters are always running in a cycle. Why? So we start from A equal to 1. We go to B equal to 2. Next is C equal to 3. And so on and so forth. We go till Z equal to 26. The good thing about letters is they don't stop here. Okay, they don't stop here. So they don't stop here. After 26, this will continue. This will become 27. This will become 28. This will become 29. So on and so forth. This will go until 52. Again, this will continue 53, this will be 54, this will be 55, so on and so forth. This will continue till 78, right? This will keep on going like this, and not only in one direction, in the reverse direction also. So if they now ask you that what will be, let's say, the 50th letter. So how will I find out? So the trick here is, if you have a number which is greater than 26, a number which is higher than 26, you simply subtract 26 from it till the time you reach a number between 1 and 26. You can also divide by 26 and take the remainder, but that is slightly more time consuming. So 50 minus 26 will give us our answer, which is 24. Okay, and that is X. So what is the 50th letter? The 50th letter is also X. Okay. So now if I have a letter with me, let's say I have W plus 18 and I also have C minus 21. Now I need to find the values here. So what will happen? So W plus 18, obviously you are crossing the barrier, right? Because W is 23, 23 plus 3 will give you 26. After that you are increasing it further. So what will you do? You will write 23 here. You can add them both. Simply add them both. So what will you get? You will get 41. But 41 is out of scope. So we subtract 26 and we get what? We get 15. What is the 15th letter? Is O. So W plus 18 will give you O. Conversion of your letters into mathematical numbers and then solving is always going to be easier for you, and it is going to give you your coding decoding concepts very quickly. How to perform C minus 21? So C is 3. Either you remember this value for C. Some people do remember. So 29 minus 21, straight away they'll get 8 and they'll write H. What if you don't remember? So whenever your answer is less than 1, you simply add 26 in that case. So remember this logic. Okay. So here 3 minus 21. 3 minus 21 will give me what? Minus 18 plus 26. This will give me what? Oh, sorry. Okay. So these are the basics which you need to understand and remember for coding and decoding. Basics means these are the prerequisites. We have still not started. Now we will start with the actual coding decoding concept. What exactly happens in coding decoding? What kind of questions are asked to you? Okay. So we have divided them into two major types, letter to number and letter to letter. Okay. So this is letter to number and this is letter to letter. Now in letter to number also there are multiple variations which can be asked. So what is most important is you need to develop a thought line as to what you think when you are actually attempting these questions. How to think faster so that you can decode the questions quicker. Okay. So we have three sets here. Can you see? These all three types of questions will come under the category of letter to number only. But then how do you differentiate? What will you think? Okay, what will you think? So primarily, if you look at this and this and this, there is some differentiating factor. Okay, so these are test questions actually, examples. So doc is coded as 4,15,311. That code is very impossible, right? What exactly is happening here is there is a very long number string associated to the word doc. And whenever there is a very long number string associated with any word, the primary concept which should come to your head is that each letter is coded by a corresponding number. It's just that, and they have just arranged everything together. Rule number 2 says that initially, if you are a beginner, if you are starting your preparation, okay, and if you are new, if this concept is new to you, if you don't remember the place values, even if you are an old student, okay, but still you don't remember the place values. In both these cases, initially, or if you are just stuck at a question, just write their place values below the letters. Always do that. So when we'll write the place values here, 4, 15, 3, 11. And we can clearly see 4, 15, 3, 11. The most common logic of coding decoding, they are simply writing the place values of the letters continuously together. Okay. So what will happen for crown? For crown, we'll have 3, 18, 15, 23, 14. This will be my code for crown. But there are variations here. What is another variation? Another variation is, rather than writing the normal place value, they will write the reverse place value of the letters. So for D, they will. Oh God, whenever. Yeah, just refresh it once at your end, you will be able to see it clearly now. I have just changed the internet settings. Okay, let me know if it is working now. Perfect. So whenever your word is coded with a smaller number, so there is some mathematical operation which is being performed on the place values of individual letters. So let's write it again. 4, 15, 3, 11. Now simply add them. The most common thing which happens. If you add them, you will get 33. Okay. So what will be the code for crown? It is 3, 18, 15, 23, 14. Okay. So 23. This is 29, 29 and 23, 52, 52 and 18, 73. Cool. So the code for crown is 73. But again, there are multiple variations. This is a very easy version. There are variations now. What else can happen? So they will either increase or decrease this by number of letters, 4. Or they will multiply this by number of letters, 4. Or they'll multiply this randomly, they'll just double it, they'll write 66 here. Okay, if it is an even number, they'll divide it by 2, something of that sort. Or there is a very important concept which happens. They will multiply this by or add or subtract number of vowels or consonants. They can also do one more thing. What they do is, they will add all the vowels separately, all the consonants separately, and then take their difference. So you have to remember these particular types of logics. Okay. The more you practice, the better you will become here. These are all the variations which have happened in the past, which have been asked in the past, and somewhere or the other, these mix and match, they will ask this only. Okay. Similarly, we can apply it here. Now, there is another concept here. If this does not work out, the next thing, which is a very obvious thing, is you take their reverse place values and get the sum. So what are the reverse place values? So we have 23, we have 12, we have 24 and we have 16. Now you add them, so you will get 75 here. Okay. So now they could have written doc is 75, and the same variations can be brought in here also. So what is that one extra thing which we saw right now? We saw the concept of vowels and consonants. This is something which you need to remember. Vowels and consonants. This is a very common variation which they bring in questions and students can't catch it. There is another variation which happens, very important variation, which is based on even and odd. So either you can say even and odd positions. This is first position, second position, third position, fourth position. So first and third are odd positions, second and fourth are even positions. So that is alternating. Or this is 4, 15, 3, 11. So this is an even place valued letter. These three are odd. So these three will work differently. This will work differently. Okay. So this they can do it. They can do variations based on even odd also, or based on vowels and consonants also. They do one more very classic variation where for the consonants they will code normally, but for vowels they follow this concept. A, E, I, O, U will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this is not place value. They are just positions of the vowels. So if you look at a word with vowels in it, vowels will be coded separately and the consonants will be coded separately. These are all the variations which you need to know beforehand. If you know them, then your solving becomes easier. Okay. I am telling you variations which normally students pick up after a lot of practice. If you know the variations beforehand, practice will become easier for you. Now let's move on to the third type here under letter number. So here you can see what is the thought process which you need to have. If your question word, if the letters of your question word are all hidden in your given words, in these cases, then 90% of the cases it is substitution coding. Substitution coding means each letter stands for the corresponding number. There is no place value, nothing is going on. D represents 1. You can check this. OCK, OCK is 234, 234. So that means the code for D is 1, L is 5. So what is the code for cool? This is COOL. So this is 3225. And what is another variation here? Instead of numbers, they can use symbols here. So they can give you hash, @ exclamation, and dollar. Okay, and then they'll give you ampersand, @ exclamation, dollar. So now find the code for cool. So it is exclamation, @ ampersand. Same variation. Instead of numbers, they'll give you symbols. Okay. Now let's move on to the next type, that is letter to letter. When I talk of letter to letter, the primary concept here, again we have three sets here. What is happening here? D is coded by W, O is coded by L, C is coded by X, K is coded by P. Mostly it is corresponding, but it may not be necessary. If you observe, if you are very well versed by now, so you will understand that this is reverse coding. Simply reverse coding is happening. So what will be the code of crown? It will be XILDM. Correct? Simply reverse letters. Simply reverse letters. Perfect. Very good. But again, this is very easy. What are the possible variations? More the variation, the more difficult it can be made. So here, rather than taking simple reverse letters, they can do reverse +1 or reverse ±1 or reverse ±2. Mostly they will limit in this region only. Okay. So rather than writing XILDM, they can do reverse +1. So they will say reverse is X, that is 24. You will write Y. Then I you will write J. L you will write M. D you will write E. And M you will write N. Now for a lot of people you think that, oh, this is very easy. But because you don't know this, now directly you have to convert. This becomes a challenge. Okay. So they can do this. In the next case, this is one of the most popular and easy cases. So if you can't figure something out, just write the place value. So we have 4, 15, 3, 11. We have 5, 17, 6, 15. Now 4 plus 1 is 5. So 15 plus 2 is 17. 3 plus 3 is 6. And 11 plus 4 is 15. So we are just adding the corresponding position of the letter. So what will be the code for crown? So this is 3, 18, 15, 23, 14. If I add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So if I add 1 to 3, I'll get 4. 2 to 18, I'll get 20. 3 to 15, I'll get 18. 4 to 23, I'll get 27. And 5 to 14, I'll get 19. So what will be the letters which I'll get? I'll get D, T, R and S in the end. What about 27? So the moment letter is greater than 26, you subtract 26 from it. You get 1, so you will get A here. So this is the code following this coding, following this coding. But again, this is not the one version only. This is a very easy version. This is the most popular type of question asked under number to letter. letter to letter. What all variations can happen? They can simply increase or decrease by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4, by 5, or any number for that matter. They can, sometimes they'll multiply, they'll just double this also. Sometimes it's possible, they write 8, 3, 0, 6, 2, 2. They can do that. So everything is possible. They'll add it by this, they'll subtract, they can multiply. Anything and everything is possible. One of the most popular concepts is digit. So you will remember another concept here is digit based. What happens in digit based coding? Supposedly I have, let's say W. W is 23. So I'll say 2 plus 3. I'll get 5. So I'll write E. So W will be replaced with E. Very popular type of coding. Okay. But students cannot get that. So I'm giving you everything possible. Every possible variation has been given to you. From all the previous year questions in SSC, CHSL, CGL, CPO, wherever they're asking you difficult questions, I have, got everything and put it across right here. The last variation becomes the most important variation and it holds the key to the complete concept here. I'll tell you why. Dance is coded as adneck, so socks will be coded as what? What is the logic here? The logic basically says that, how will you think? If your coded word has all the letters of the given word, that means it's only simply based on shuffling, nothing else. So how will we shuffle this? Divide, divide. So 2 letters, 1 letter, 2 letters. You flip this, this is as it is, you flip this. So this is ADNEC. So what will be the code for socks? It will be OSCSK. Now why did I say this is the most important and this holds the key? Because now is where we draw the actual meaning of coding decoding. An examiner knows that all these parts are there and students are already aware about this. Okay. And if you must have observed, solving them singly type wise was very easy. So what does the examiner do? The examiner picks. They can take this one, this and this, and they'll mix all these 3 codes to form a new code. So the idea is these questions may seldom be asked from a single type. They are always mixed. 2, 3, sometimes rarely 4 different types are mixed together and the question is put across to you. So a bouquet of codes is presented. You have to figure out all the codes simultaneously and then give the answer. Remember, coding decoding is one of those topics which does not have a cap. So from being very easy and direct, it can become very complex and time consuming. The decision is, if it is very easy, you will solve it very quickly. If it is difficult, time consuming, complex, you will just leave it. Don't unnecessarily get into the trap. If it is somewhere in the middle, if it is a moderate question, then you can spend some time once you're done with other questions. Okay. So they can take you to any level. Right. So this is the concept behind, basic concept behind coding decoding. 70 to 80% questions will be based on this only. Now we'll have 2 more types here. Okay. We'll have 2 more types here. After this, there are 2 smaller types of questions, individual types of questions. Okay. Very good, Anurag. Excellent. So the next one is word to word coding. Now this becomes challenging for a lot of students who have just begun, who have just started their preparation. For those who are already doing it for quite a long time, this is not problematic. So this is the kind of question which comes across. If white is called blue, blue is called green, green is called red, red is called yellow, yellow is called black, black is called grey, then what is the color of blood? So what do most of the students do? I'll tell you all the types of variations which happen in this question. First variation says that I don't care about the question. This is given to confuse me. They are asking me the color of blood, the answer will be red. They mark this. Obviously, it is the incorrect answer because what's the point of giving you the code? The second category of students says that, okay, green is called red. So my code will be green, right? The color of blood is red. Green is called red. So my code will be green. They are also simply incorrect. There is a third category who is the most common category but is very close to the answer. They say The answer will be grey. Why? They'll say the color of blood is red, red is called yellow, yellow is called black, black is called grey. So my answer will be grey. No, this is also incorrect. Why? So how to solve this question? You will pick up your question, what is the color of blood? You will see in this code, the color red is called yellow, and that's it. You will get your answer. So in these types of questions, what exactly are they trying to tell you is the first word is usually the name of the color itself, and the second one is the coded name. Second one is the coded name in the new code. So white color is coded as blue, comma blue. This is an illusion of a continuity being given to you, but this blue is a color, actual color blue. This is just the name blue which is given to white now. So this actual color blue is called green. This actual color green is called red. So this actual color red is called yellow. This is your answer. Okay, easy, no rocket science. Now you can easily track these kinds of questions. But then what is the challenge here? The challenge is here. Okay, whenever you see a word is called as, or is called simply, or is named, or is known as, or whatever, in all these cases we have the color first and the name is next, like this. But if you use the word means or implies in between, then it switches. It totally switches. Your name will come first and your color will come next. So instead of red is called yellow, if this was yellow, red means yellow, you could not have chosen yellow as your answer. Why? Because red means yellow means, what does this imply? Red means yellow. Means when I am using the name red, I imply the color yellow. So then the color is second, name is first. In that case, green would have been my correct answer. Green means red. Then I would have chosen green in for this question. Do you understand the difference? This difference is very important because a lot of people teach you only this aspect and this question. And when in the exam you see means here, you lose your marks. So be careful. This is the only one variation which you need to be careful about here. Nothing else. Apart from that, this is a very easy type. The third type is, the fourth type is coding decoding, Chinese coding. This is important. Up until a very good stage, there used to be difficult questions which used to be asked from Chinese coding and a lot of time consuming questions. Okay. So what changed now? See, we'll first understand what is Chinese coding. Chinese coding, if you look at these are simple codes, these are simple phrases or sentences given to you. Juice is sweet, sweet and sour, he is good. And there are their counterparts, coded counterparts given. Suki lu, paki no, go sufe. So they're asking you the code of juice. A lot of students who are new aspirants fall in the trap. They say, okay, juice is coded as su, is coded as ki, sweet is coded as lu. No, that is not right. Why is that not right? You are lacking an observation here. If you see, su is here, su is also here, but there is no juice here. So this is how you have to observe. So how will you code this? You will code by taking common. You will read the first two sentences together. What is common in English? You will say sweet is common here. And what is common in this code language? You will say ki is common here. So now I know very clearly that the word sweet is coded as ki. I need to find out the code for juice. Either I should have had another word with another phrase with juice in it, or I'll have to eliminate is and sweet. So I've looked for sweet, and if I look for first and third, I can see is the common one. So su is the common one. So I'll say is equal to su. So I'll remove both of them. I'll be left with juice and lu. So the code for juice for me in this question will become lu. It is that simple. But it is time consuming. If you solve it with this method, you'll end up wasting a lot of your time. See, whenever an examiner gives you a question and the examiner wants you that maybe in 60 minutes I want you to solve 100 questions, or maybe in 1 hour I want you to solve 2 hours I want you to solve 200 questions. If that is the case, this is what they are thinking, then the questions will be of the level where you can actually solve them. Level means there will be some means to it, which you don't know. If your question is asking you a single word, and it is providing options to you, then it becomes a cakewalk. Then it becomes a cakewalk. But listen to this condition carefully. It is asking you a single word and there are 4 distinct options given to you. In that case, what will you do? You wanted to find the code for juice, right? Look for sentences where juice is not present. So we have it here in sweet and sour and he is good. So delete these letters from the options. Why? Because they can never be juice. Simply delete them. Pa, ki, no. So ki is gone. Pa is not there. Go, su, fe. So su is gone. Go is gone. What is left? Lu is left. Lu is the code for juice. It's that simple. Elimination can make it that simple. So first I explained the concept to you. Now the trick. But I told you about the condition. If at all one option is replaced by none of these, cannot be determined, or data inadequate, then you will have to solve it. Okay, because if you delete it, let's say one option is left and one cannot be determined is left, you still don't know, maybe cannot be determined can be your correct answer. Okay, so in that case, don't go straight away for elimination, try it with this method. So what is the condition? 4 distinct options and single word. Sometimes they'll give you 2 words here, which may be present in multiple options. If they are giving you 2 words, again, for one word, you can use this technique. For the second word, once you get the code for one word, you can eliminate the rest to find the second word very easily. So that is the logic behind this. Okay, this is Chinese coding. Again, there is a variation here. What is the variation? Sometimes instead of these Chinese versions, they simply use letters here, numbers here. So juice is sweet will be 527, sweet and sour will be 739, and he is good will be 543. Now they'll ask you the code for juice. So same method, you'll eliminate and you'll get your answers. But sometimes they give it to you in a different format. They will say juice is sweet is 525, sweet and sour is 534, and he is good is 224. Now they'll ask you what is the code for were. This is totally different. Or they might simply ask you what is the code for, let's say, anything. What do we pick up? Yeah, let's pick up that only. What is the code for were? Firstly, you will see there is no were in the sentences only. So this variation is based on number of letters. This variation is based on number of letters. This is the type of question which looks like Chinese coding but is not Chinese coding. Juice has 5 letters, is has 2 letters, sweet has 5 letters, sweet and sour 534, he is good 224. So were is simply 4. You'll get your answer and that's it. So remember this variation, right? These are all the major types and little variations which are involved in the topic coding and decoding. Okay. Clear? Got it? So that is the complete detail of Chinese coding. Maybe there might be some students who think that ye nahi aata hai, wo nahi aata hai, this does not come, that does not come. To all those students, I'll tell you, stop doing selective studies. Selective study is not going to help your selection. This was a tight slap on all those people, all those students. The NEET examination has given a tight slap to such preparators, such aspirants who have actually not cracked the examination, right? So the idea is you are missing out on something. You are leaving something just because it has not been asked in the last 2 years. But when you're studying, you have to completely cover everything. Okay? When you're studying, you have to completely cover everything. Leave no stone unturned so that ensures that you are prepared 100%. Then whatever happens in the examination is different. That is not in your control. Right? Anyways, so coming back, we can wind the session here, right? Because today's session was only a theory-based session. So I have explained all the concepts and understanding of coding, decoding to you. We will continue tomorrow with good level of practice questions. So I have some good questions for you. Some are from previous year papers of SSC. Some are from previous year papers of RRB. Some are practice questions normally which are not from any previous year papers. I might put in 1 or 2 questions here and there from some other examination also, maybe IP MAT or some other exam where the levels will be slightly high, and then we will try all these questions in a single shot. Okay, I will try to limit the timer at 40 seconds only, so that we can solve more number of questions in a limited amount of time. So today was the first session of coding decoding, a theory session. Tomorrow we'll convert it into a practice. So we'll continue with the practice session, and I'll continue like this every week. So every week we'll bring in a new topic. One day will be theory, the other day will be practice, and we'll be done with that topic. And I've specifically done this so that because of the student demand. Students have asked me that please start a topic wise concept, so we are doing that for you. One important thing which I want to share with you here, specifically for those who are engineering background students. So just stay with me for a moment, okay? For students who are from the engineering background, we have a webinar scheduled for you on Sunday 11th May. And this is completely free of cost. Now, why for engineering graduates? Because a lot of engineering graduates are getting caught up into the thought process. They are not thinking themselves. It's just the societal pressure that, okay, you're done with engineering. There is no scope in your, particular engineering. You just go for government exams, which is fine. But then sit for CGL, sit for CHSL, sit for CPO. They end up filling all the forms. And when they're actually getting the jobs, we are getting, we are contacting people, students who are actually good level engineers, but they're not satisfied. It's a misfit, right? So to avoid that, we are giving you government job opportunities, but for engineering graduates. That means specifically for engineering fields, where the competition will be level and you will also feel that, okay, this job is matching to my parameters. So to understand that better, you have to attend this webinar. Just go on the Oliveboard website or the Oliveboard application. There will be a registration link. Register on that free of cost and attend this webinar specifically for all the engineers, for a better scope in the government sector for all of you. Right, on that note, I'll end the session here, guys. Thank you so much for joining live. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Yes, everything I will cover, Bhavna. Each topic in logical reasoning will be covered here in the next coming few months or weeks. Bye, guys.